Moby versus Steve Earle in the 360 Albums Tourney, first round matchup. So we've got Steve Earle, Exit Zero, which was submitted by possibly Partly Truth, possibly Honky Tonk Burger, possibly Lincoln Hawk. I don't remember who exactly. Going up against Innocence, maybe, by Moby. I submitted the Moby album. I don't even know the name of it. I guess I should have figured that out beforehand. Innocence. That's plural. Innocent, plural, by Moby. Going up against Exit Zero by Steve Earle. We'll start with Steve Earle. Now, I gotta admit, Steve Earle's one of those artists that I've always told myself I should like more than I do. And I've listened to him quite a bit. And, you know, the song Copperhead Road is undeniably a phenomenal song. And I can listen to that one 7 days a week. I've had some Steve Earle albums. I enjoyed his Way Down the Hole rendition for season 5 of The Wire. I enjoyed his acting as Bubbles' sponsor on The Wire. And he's one of those artists like Bruce Springsteen and Tom Petty that I feel like I should really love his music. And I just don't really love it. This album on shuffle often was distracting. It's so radically different than the Moby album. Been studying up for about a week or two. Now this morning, A Week of Dangerous Living, that song is fabulous. Absolutely love that song. Listened to it multiple times on my drive in to work. And I was chatting briefly about this matchup with Partly Truth, and he said that song is what Uncle Tupelo wanted to be, but weren't. Also, Angry Young Man, you know, that's a really good song by Steve Earle that's on this album. But overall, Exit Zero, I didn't want to get on the off-ramp or on-ramp or whatever. I wanted to get back on the highway. I didn't want to stop and explore the album that much. I mean, I listened to it multiple times, the album. I gave it a fair shake. But that Moby album, Innocence, is an album that I've got a physical copy of. And it's just a beautiful album. Most of y'all may not know it, but I'm a pretty big Moby fan. And it's a meditative album. It has plenty of guest appearances. It's Skylar Grey, Cold Specs, Mark Lanigan. Oh, Mark Lanigan's take on there is just beautiful. A couple others. Wayne from the Flaming Lips is on there. But it's just a beautifully constructed album. It's one that I can let play while at work, and it's unobtrusive. It's another one of those albums that's meditative for me. Some of the songs are songs that I used to sleep to music, and I'd sleep to some of the songs, like the Mark Lanigan one. And I think that's A Lonely Night, I think is the one with him. And then a Case for Shame, sleep to that. One of the songs on this Moby album I had on repeat a lot today, the one with the Lead Belly sample, Looky Looky Yonder. It's blanking. I've not retained the song title. Imagine that. I'm the world's worst reviewer of albums. Not even reviewing them. It's just kind of a matchup, just kind of talking about them. So, I appreciate the submission of the Steve Earle album. One day I may listen to enough Steve Earle that it sinks in along like Tom Petty. And I like individual songs by both artists, but it's such a labor to try to make it through one of their albums. Same thing with Bruce Springsteen. So, advancing to the round of 180 albums is Moby, Innocence. So hard for me to say. I guess it's just not Southern accent approved. You like Steve Earle? What's going to help me really dive in on Steve Earle? I'm sure Honky Tonk Burger can tell me. And Do you like Moby? I'm a huge fan of Moby. I know he's pretty brash and upfront about his beliefs, and that can be polarizing to people. But I am having some bourbon while talking about it, Mr. Straight Edge. It is what it is. But I love this Moby album. It's a very cathartic, inspirational album. It's a type of album that I can put on and write 20 to 60 poems in the span of a few hours. I know that might make me sound manic, but when I really get in the groove with my muse, I can really produce a lot of stuff. I don't write much anymore, but back when I did, this type of album that I could really interconnect with. So, all right, let me know. What do you think? Where do you fall on this? And those of you who are having a pour that aren't straight edge, what's your pour tonight? Cheers.